Hey, what's up, y'all? Back with more videos, and this one in particular deals with the Merrell Test Lab. And the Merrell Test Lab existed 2 years ago. They went back, reformatted the program, and relaunched, and they put this video out to show the details about the company and what they're working on. I had to throw that in there because I wanted you guys to see it, and I love those drums. But the Merrell Test Lab utilizes their athletes as the subjects, and as you guys see, they are in mountains, they're on trails, they're at the Moab, they're doing all of these different trail runs. I'm doing a completely different video here. What I'm explaining to Merrell is that your test lab shoes are excellent for off-season training for track and field athletes. Now, here's why. My daughter is going into her freshman year. So this shoe, the Long Sky, right? I got this for myself so I can run with her. She's much faster than I am. She's a high jump champ at the middle school level. But during her training in the summer when she's not with her head coach and working with the program, when I'm working on certain things with her, I don't like to be on concrete or hard surfaces because I don't want to wear her legs out too quickly. All right. Now, I'm not saying that it's bad to run on concrete or do drills on concrete. I just prefer for her as an athlete to be on grass and dirt. And these shoes, both styles, these are hers. So she's got the MQM. I've got the Long Sky too. And what I'm explaining to Merrell is that off-season training, we run trails and we use correct form when we're running the trails because she also runs the 200 and the 100, and she's going to start running the 400 this year, and then she does the 4x. But when we sit down and we work on the trails, because trails are unpredictable, it moves her foot and it shifts her foot around. And that is working on her high jump form. Now, I don't know if you guys understand, when someone's doing a high jump and they run, they jump off of one leg, and that leg is kind of like a pole stabbing into the ground, and then it propels them over. Kind of, I guess if you think about centrifugal force, it propels them over the bar, and then they arch, complete the jump, right? But when we run on the trails, because there are branches or there's sticks or there's rocks, it enables her to work on controlling her body and using dorsiflexion when she lands, and it helps her sprint drills too. But this was the killer part of it. When we do drills on heels, because of the lugs on the bottom of the shoe, she is able to run her heels with correct form. And running heels, for those of you who are working with your daughters in the off season, working with your sons, when you run heels, it teaches you the correct form for coming out of the blocks. Why? Because you're angled. So when you run heels, and we do that in these shoes, so I'm going to insert the video throughout while I'm talking here of us training in the shoes. When we run heels, it works fantastic. Now, her mom, they run mud runs. So I'm going to videotape them in their shoes for the mud run. So I'm going to do that much later because the mud run isn't until September, and then we'll be right into the heart of fall track and field. But what I wanted to do was show you guys the shoes for both in the Merrell Test Lab. So like I said, the Merrell Test Lab launched 2 years ago. They pulled back, and then they redid the program, and they released this video, and then they released a couple of shoes in the program. So let's go to the details here on what the shoes have and what's featured. All right, so we talk about the breathable mesh and TPU upper. And I think I'm on this is the Long Sky. So I'm on the Long Sky. As a matter of fact, I'll turn it so you guys can see where it says Long Sky here. But it also has, and this is one of those things where I don't even think it's on the list. Recycled laces, 100% recycled tongue webbing. And we get the tongue webbing. These overlays, it's kind of fused overlays, right? Internal booty. And don't laugh when I say booty, you goofy dudes. You see on the inside of it, the details for the Merrell Test Lab are on the inside of the shoe. And then they have see it on the trail. Now, you notice these people are running down hills and they're flying down these hills. When we run the hills in these shoes, even if it's wet, right now it's super hot outside, so it's dry. So running the hills is much easier because it's not a lot of slip. But if you're running in regular running shoes, your athlete can slip. So what Merrell has created is an excellent shoe for off-season training for track and field athletes to run hills, run on grassy and dirt surfaces. So with these lugs, it pulls. There's not a lot of slipping, but it's just a fantastically made shoe. And I wanted to do this video so I could show them to you before we beat them to death. And we are going to beat these to death. Now, like I was saying, they don't have one detail on the long sky. They don't even mention here on the video, right? There's this piece of Velcro at the back where you can actually pull your shoe through, your shoestring, if you don't want to tie it. And you can pull it through and put it through that Velcro that's here at the back. They don't even mention that on the website. Why they don't mention it, I have no idea. But it's a very cool detail, especially for my daughter and Float Pro cushioning. For my daughter who doesn't like to tie her shoes sometimes, she likes to just kind of tie them and stuff the shoestrings. But this is a cool thing if she switches shoes with my wife, because my wife has the long sky. My daughter has the MQM. So let's switch over to the MQM and I'll show you guys this as well so you can get a great look at it. And this has more of a synthetic welded kind of overlay, and then it's ripstop. So these are going to be excellent during the mud runs. Excellent. You know what I mean? Look at the outsole here. So let's scroll down to the details on this one so we can see what we have. So it's vegan friendly, Vibram Auto Grip outsole, right? Mega Grip outsole. Let me see what the cushioning is here. I love this Merrell that's going across, and then on the medial side, it has, MQM, Merrell Test Lab MQM. That's fantastic. On the tongue, you have the details right there. But this is one of those things that I love. It's a waterproof shell, so when she does the mud run, she's going to be in love with this shoe. She's going to be good and secure in her footwear choice for the mud run. But the same thing when we're training over at the park and we're running hills and we're running on the trails and stuff like that, which you'll see in the video as I'm talking. I should be interspersing this video with video from us out training. So we'll have hill run, we'll have trail run. And in our trail run, contrary to what a lot of people do, when you have more of an endurance type of runner for the Merrell shoes, and that's who the trainers are when they say see them in action or share your trail. When you have people who are doing more of a distance running, we're working on explosiveness because she does high jump, 200, 100, 400, 4x. We're working on explosiveness. So for her and what we're working on, we have to sit down and make sure she doesn't have a lot of movement in her foot. Now, why did I bring that up? When she's running in more traditional shoes, let's say if she's running in a Nike or an Adidas shoe, those shoes don't have these type of lugs on them, and you wouldn't associate a shoe that looks like this with track. But what we do versus what a person that works with Merrell, we are doing 200, 300, 400 burst. We go all out sprint, full, which gets the heart rate up and helps with endurance. But we use correct form and then we rest for another 400 meters before we do it again. And we only do those things 3 times. Now, a lot of people think you have to go overboard and do it 10 times. When I was a basketball coach, I would have the guys running suicides continuously. Had I realized back then I could get the optimum amount of performance out of my players with explosive runs initially, quickly, and move on from those and then work on other things that I could build up their endurance just as well in some instances, I would have done more speed drills with my basketball players as opposed to continued distance pounding, long form running drills because I wanted to build explosiveness. So, anyway, I'm sure somebody out there that coaches and does running and stuff. I'm not a track person. I was a basketball person and a basketball coach, but training my daughter in the off season, I tend to pay attention to the details around track and field. But the shoes are perfect, and hopefully the videos in here that you see for both the MQM and the Long Sky have kind of gave you some information about the product, and you can make a decision if you want to pick up a pair for yourself. Merrell does a fantastic job. I'm actually wearing Merrells now, and I should do an on foot. As a matter of fact, let's cut to an on foot of the Long Sky. The MQM you'll see when my daughter's out running in the video, and me, we're both running in the video doing hills. Let's get to that close up. All right, y'all. So I'm going to do on foot just simply because, sometimes it's just cleaner to do it on foot inside of the building as well as an on foot on the outside, since, the video has shown you us testing the shoes. One rule of sneaker etiquette in doing on foots, if you're going to start and not be editing, try to wear the same brand in the video. These are Merrell Gridways, recycled material at the back. I did a video on these. You guys can look that up, where I walked across the bridge. But these are Merrell, so I'm wearing Merrell to try on Merrell. So let's get these off. Shout out Tribe Called Quest. RIP Fife Dog. Let's get the box out of the way. And let's get these on. So you guys can check them out. And of course, you've seen me running in these already. The Long Sky. Easy to get on. All honesty. Oh, this is the D-ring that they were talking about, so I can actually go down to the front of the shoe and tie them up if I want to, but I'm not going to do all of that. I'm just going to tie that basic so you guys can see it. Real quick, this one, because I don't feel like tying it, I'm going to go around the back of the shoe into this Velcro, and I'm going to loop that and then close the Velcro strip up, and then I can just kind of leave that. It's not going to get in my way. I'm not going to step on it, but not doing any jump rope. I'm just inside. I wanted you guys to see what they look like on foot. They feel fantastic. Of course, you see me running in them. And if you guys are interested, I'm a size 13. My toe is about right here. Because that's welded, it's a little bit tougher around the front and the bumper. But unlike, you remember when I tried on the Olos, and I wore those and I ran the steps in those Olos, and you can see the back of the shoe here. There's no chance of me really stepping on it, but it will get torn up. I need to move that around. So on this pebble trail, after a lot of running, you don't feel any hills or rocks through the shoes. Those lugs are great. So that's the Merrell Long Sky. Really, really nice performance shoe from the brand. And let's end this with a little bit of training with my daughter.